My name's Alan Brown. I'm the General Manager with the Crannog Supply Company, which is part of the Crannog business. Crannog business itself encompasses a whole lot of different business units. There's the supply company, there's the restaurant, which we're in just now, which is in the pier in Fort William. There's a cruise boat, seats 126 maximum, goes up and down the loch through the summer season. There is the diving school, which is also based in Fort William, with part of the diving school being now in Tasmania, where they train divers in commercial diving through from scuba, surface supply to closed bell, and we also do ROV training there, which is remote operated vehicles underwater training. There is the boatyard in Malig, where there's a boat repairs to mostly fishing vessels, which we own as well now. My role within the company has changed over the years. I tend to I move around the company a little bit. I was in the diving school for 2 years when we bought it out of receivership. I've managed the restaurant before. I've been overall responsible for the boat. I'm currently looking after the seafood side of the business on a project of bringing the two different operations together, the Crannog Supply Company and Isle of Skye Seafoods, to work as one unit. The diversity of the business and geographical location is a big challenge. I think because the business, it was for a long time a restaurant on the end of the pier, and it flourished, I guess, quite quickly through the diving school and at Tasmania. There was a whole lot of new challenges there, and the management of that, I guess, was all about communication. It was all about having a shared vision, and a lot of that went back, I guess, in its roots to some years ago when we first got involved with IIP. IIP is the Investors in People programme. Now we keep the principles of IIP very close to our heart in our business, and this idea of everybody knowing what the business is trying to do, everybody knowing what they can do to help make that happen, everybody knowing how the business is doing, and everybody knowing what help they can get if they need help to help them achieve what they're trying to do. I think the development of staff, keeping the vision on track is really an important issue. One of the things that we've looked at over the last few years is recruiting graduate placements, which is where people come and join us and they've got a degree that they don't necessarily want to follow through in that course. And so we've got the job then of bringing them into the company, seeing where they're going to fit and tailoring the package over a period of time to get them to the place where they make a contribution. So we've taken in somebody who's got a chemical engineering degree. They are now working in the dive school as a dive support technician, a complete change of discipline. We've taken in a gentleman who's got a legal degree. He's now gone into accounts and management. He's managing the boatyard up in Malig as well as doing part-time job in the accounts department. And a young woman who came back with a degree in English literature who wanted to go into marketing, and we've been able to take her through a distance learning course in marketing where she's had to go away occasionally to do exams and to do some intensive stuff, but basically does it all with a combination between support from the LEC, support from the local college and support from us as the employer. I think the main learning points is to stick to the basics, communicate well, understand clearly what it is that you're trying to do, keep it really simple. You can't get it simple enough, you know. It's too easy to get really complicated and really involved about the communication of it all. Try and communicate very simply to the whole team what it is you're trying to do, and a simple way of measuring that and a simple way of communicating what sort of progress has been made. Stick to the basics, keep close to the basics. It's an interesting concept, mistakes. Sometimes I see mistakes happen and I think that I automatically jump ahead and think, well, the very fact that we've made this mistake now is probably going to save us a fortune, and because it was a small mistake, if we learn this lesson now, it's going to save us 10 times that in the future. And I think we've got a culture in the business where it's accepted that mistakes are part of the way we run our business. That you will, because we're training, because we're striving, because we're trying to grow, because we're expanding, because we're fluid and we're willing to change direction, depending on markets and customers and competition, that there is a place where mistakes will happen. And we want to learn from our mistakes, we want to move on. Yes, there's time when people make there's no need for the mistake and you've got to bring some sort of discipline in. But that's not the main focus. The main focus is this culture where mistakes are something that we all move on, and we take responsibility at all levels. I think the one key message for MD trying to reinvent or revitalise their business is really get close to the principles of IIP. This whole idea of simply and cleanly communicating to everybody in your business. Everybody, meaning the guy that only works on a Saturday morning and he's 14, to the MD completely buying into what is it we're trying to achieve, what can I do to help make that happen, how are we doing. It's so important for everybody in the company to know how are we doing. It's all very well setting objectives, but they've got to know regularly, are we getting close to it, are we doing better, are we doing worse, is there a problem, and then what help can I get. So if things change and I need some training, where can I go to access that training? And if you just get these 4 principles working, it's like a foundation that you can build on. You've got a foundation that will take the pressure when the pressure's on.